Hello, this is Sarah and Butch with Trig Bees. We're going to take advantage of some nice weather today. We have a water meter box that Butch and I removed the whole thing from the ground, and we are going to transplant them into a hive today. So we're going to take a little bit of video and some pictures to share with you so you can see how we do it. We've got the lid off the water meter box, and this is what we've got inside. The comb that had been attached to the lid at some point in time has collapsed, and they have glued it all together to make their home. So now you've got the big cluster of a mess. What we're going to do is try and hunt for the queen, utilize some of the comb that we can that has brood in it, honey and pollen, to help get them a jump start. And then we're going to move them over here into this box that we have got some existing comb in, so they won't have to build new comb, but they'll still have to fill it with brood, honey, pollen, but it's going to give them a good start.
First step in looking for the queen, we're going to take the lid. The queen is, odds are she's not here because there is no eggs or brood. This is open comb. It's at the top of the hive, which is usually where it's honey bound. This is extremely early into the season, so odds are she's not at the top, but it's always a possibility. So what we're going to do is we're going to knock them out on a nice flat surface, and we're going to look for the queen. Now she can fly, but odds are she's not. There she is. You see her?
Yep, she's right there.
Yep, that's her. Now odds are she's not going to fly. She can't fly for at least 2 days. If she does fly, it'll be less than 5 yards at a time, and we're going to cage her. Let me grab a cage.
She's right here. See her?
All right, I see her. That'll be all right. See her now, but there she is. All right, beautiful. Beautiful little queen. So we're going to put her in there. She's nice and safe and happy now. Now, it was, odds are that she wasn't at the top, but you never know. She can be anywhere at any given time. So the sharp snap was okay. It's uninjured to her, and it cleaned most of the bees off the top.
Now, with her being at the top of the hive, is there a possibility that maybe they had laid a new queen and she was fixing to leave and go somewhere else because of the weather change and she wanted to find a better home?
It's possible, but it's extremely early in the season. I wouldn't expect that, but we did find a swarm cell 2 days ago in a hive, so hypothetically it is possible. But now that we have her, we'll put her in that box. We'll dump the rest of the population in that box, and they'll pretty much stay.
Okay, and as you can see, they're laying on the lid here, and you can see how they have crawled on top of the queen clip. They know that she's in there. They're trying to protect her and make sure she stays okay. So while they're doing that, we don't have to worry about anything going on. We're going to come back over to the water meter box where they're at. We're going to remove these bees, and we're still going to continue to look for another queen and or a queen cell just in case. These bees here still haven't got a clue what's going on, but they're fixing to find out, so we'll show you as we're going along.
Good.
All right. I'm going to pull this ball of comb out because it's literally a big ball. I'm going to take it over to the hive here and try and shake the bees off because these little ladies here have got absolutely no idea what's going on. See what we can do here. Can you get a picture of this?
Mangled ball. I'm going to try and help.
So explain to me what you're doing.
Well, this has pollen and a little bit of food stored in it, and so even though it's mangled, bees are welders, and they're fantastic fabricators, and they will build all of this and weld it all back together. So I'm giving them a little bit of food resources just so in the middle of the night they get up, they can go eat. We're going to give them a feeder hopefully today. If not, in 2 days we'll so they can be able to feed. Now I'm going to pull one of these frames out so that we can dump the population into the hive. This is going to be pretty hard on them, but it's early enough in the year, we got supplies for them, so they'll be fine. good comb food pollen for them, and I don't have another place to put it. This is a good piece we should have been able to utilize, but I don't have room for them. So what we'll do is we'll put this off to the side. We'll leave this here. We'll leave this out of the way. We're going to videotape the queen clip right now. If you look very carefully, they have now engulfed on that. I think somebody stepped up and said, "Hey, we're going to start the swarm now. We are not going to stay here. We're going to leave. We've been invaded. We've been catastrophically relocated and broken up." So they're going to say, "Hey, let's get our things together. Let's pack up. Let's leave." But what we're going to do is we got this little queen excluder that's on here, and she cannot get out. And because of that, she's going to be locked inside, and the bees aren't going to know that. The bees are going to ball up, and they're going to leave. And 15 minutes later, they'll cloud in the air, and they'll come back and say, "Hey, why didn't you come back?" And the queen's going to be like, "I can't get out." And so they'll stay with her overnight, and then they'll just give up on trying to leave, and she'll start laying eggs again, and then we'll pull the queen excluder out.
So you're telling me by using the queen excluder, the queen can't get out, but the rest of the bees can?
Absolutely, just like the queen clip. The bees can get in and out and feed her, but she is locked in.
And why is that?
Her thorax, her hard shell of her chest, is measured in thousandths of an inch, larger than the other bees, the worker bees, and they can come and go. The drone is also larger in the thorax, so if you do this later in the year when there's a lot of drone population, the drones also get locked in the box and they can't get out through the jail cell.
Is that good or a bad thing?
It's a bad thing, but what we are going to do is leave it limited, so it will only have it on there for about 5 or 6 days, maybe 10 days. We'll pull the queen excluder and it'll be okay because they'll all be able to live. And the ones that do die, this is a bad thing, the ones that do die, the drones that die and they can't get out, they'll have to rip them apart and pull them out through the pieces. And they'll do that because they have good
So they'll
hygienics.
clean the dead bees out of their hive?
All the dead bees. They clean everything. Every day. They never sleep, 24 hours a day. They're working 7 days a week. Beautiful fabricators, welders, they work hard. You can watch this. Yeah? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to gently, because I don't have any structure to hold them in, give them a tap. They're going to fall. They're going to climb down in there. They're going to go down in a dark spot rather than the exposed to the sun. The queen clip is in the sun. I'm going to limit that as much as possible. Especially in August in Texas, we do not want the queen to be stuck in the sun. So I'm going to open her up. I'm going to make sure that she gets down in the box. See, they're full of honey right now. All the bees are full of honey. They've already decided we're packing our bags, we're leaving. So I'm going to prepare this. I'm going to dump her in there. She can fly, but she can only fly for about 5 or 10 yards at a time. She's still in the clip. She hasn't come out yet, but she will. There she is. She's coming out. And when she comes out, she'll climb down into the frame, into the box, and then I'll put the lid on. There she is. There, she's safe. All right. There, 100%. She's locked in, she can't get out, she's safe. She cannot be injured now by me putting the lid on, which is a concern. Right now the drone population is slightly limited, so they can't just take an egg, make a new queen, and have it immediately fertilized. We did this a little bit too early in the game, but that's because I'm leaving for a job and I needed to do this now. So we're going to place these back in the bee yard and we will get back with you and do an update on this.